Hello everyone and welcome back to Affinity for Commander, where today we're going to learn about the fact that at one point Spider-Man apparently became a god. I genuinely don't know, but it does give us a cool 5-colour Spider Kindred commander to talk about. As always, like any of the cards you see here in this video today, please make sure you make any of your purchase through our lovely affiliate links in the description box below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it'll help the channel out quite a lot. So, what does a Wooburg worth of mana get us in the Spider-Verse? Cosmic Spider-Man is a 5/5 Spider human hero for Wooburg mana. He has Flying, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink and Haste, and reads, at the beginning of combat on your turn, other spiders you control gain Flying, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink, and Haste. Okay, so we've got enough keywords here to make Atraxa, Blush, playing all of our colours, and then even gives these slew of keywords to all the spiders we have out. So our plan is to use the very small amount of Kindred synergies spiders have, and then have Cosmic Spider out and give all of our spiders those slew of keywords to be hitting in for damage, reducing our opponent's life totals down to 0. No combos, no infect, just straight damage. Technically it's a bracket 2 deck, but considering some of the cards we're playing with, I'd put it more into bracket 3 realistically. And the deck itself is coming in at a lovely price tag of just under 500 euros, but honestly that's probably mostly just pre-sale prices skyrocketing the actual overall deck's cost up a little bit. I imagine the number's going to change in a few weeks' time. Now, let's get to it. At the 1 and 2 drops, we've got our first spiders in Radioactive Spider, Spider Manifestation, and Twitching Doll for some of the most nightmare-inducing ramp I've ever seen. And the 1 drop lets us search for any of our spider heroes in the deck at all, and can act as a really good blocker. Speaking of heroes, Spectacular Spider-Man can be a means of saving us from a board wipe, Spider-Ham is our Spider Lord to give us a bit of life with a food token, Spider-Punk gives all our creatures Riot, so either making them bigger or giving them haste, and prevents any counter magic from being used. And Spider-Woman, Stunning Savior, is a small stacks piece that really just lets us get in for damage before blockers are up and stops a lot of artifact nonsense from occurring. We've also got Miles Morales and Peter Parker who buff our team and enter with a 2/1 friend. Both can be played or flipped into their alter egos of Ultimate Spider-Man, a 4/3 First Strike Haster that can buff himself and also dodge removal while buffing the counted up creatures on attack. And Peter himself flips into the Amazing Spider-Man, a 4/4 Reacher with Vigilance that gives all our legends web slinging for Bant, which means you can cast a spell for that mana provided you've returned a tapped creature to your hand, which does also work for our commander. So realistically we could just have Peter out, have one of our mana dorks tap it for mana, and then return it to hand to play the Cosmic Spider for only Bant mana. Moving on, we've got 2 more cards that are technically spiders in Metallic Mimic that gives all of our creatures a +1/+1 counter on entry, and Masked Vandal to exile any annoying or artifact card by getting rid of a creature from our yard. Lastly, for spiders, Origin of Spider-Man makes us a 2/1 from the first chapter, then brings a counter and a double strike, which, isn't bad for 2 mana. Now onto the creatures that are definitely not spiders. Aunt May is a soul sitter for us, but then a buffer for spiders. Mary Jane Watson's a tidy bit of card draw. And Bloom Tender, which, look, I'm not even going to try and make a connection here. We're a 5-colour deck and this card can end up tapping for 4 or 5 mana when it itself is a 2-drop. It is quite frankly too good not to play. Speaking of ramping, 3 visits and Nature's Law grabs the forest, and considering this is a very green dominant deck, the forests are indeed definitely what we need. Now onto the last few cards that help support the deck. Silk Guards keeps our important creatures safe and buffs them at the same time, plus is slightly flavorful. Boreal's Charm is a board wipe insurance, but can also deal a tiny bit of damage. And Spider Sense, which I've got a feeling might actually just end up being a great card in general for EDH, but is just super great here and also has a great flavor win. The last 2 cards are Tangle because A, it's got a brand new Spider-Man art, plus we're going to be swinging out a lot, so having a Fog when we've kept our shields down is just always funny to pull. And lastly, Vrashka joins up. Death Touch on all our spider tokens and then a card draw on a legend dealing damage is very impactful considering how legend heavy our deck is. Now moving up to the 3 drops, and we've actually only got one SpiderMan here, weirdly. Symbiote SpiderMan gives us card advantage on damage, but it's mainly his other ability from Beyond the Grave that makes him great. A buff and card advantage is always good. Now, other spiders are Nyx Weaver to get back any key spiders from the bin, Spinner of Souls to replace any creatures we have that die, and Spore Web Weaver to hate on any mono blue deck and be a great deterrent for attacking, as any damage means life gain and more spiders. The last 3 creatures we have here are Lanoir Green Widow Spider that can be recurred for what should be 3 mana. Realm Walker is technically a spider and is able to play a creature on the top, and Blex Vexing Pest is not a spider at all, but does act as a spider lord. Or if we're just super desperate for cards, a not great 4 mana potential draw is maybe worth the life, maybe not. Might just keep with the lord, to be honest. We can also make more spiders with Arachnogenesis to fog and get us some spider tokens, which can then be populated and protected with Rootborn defenses. Curse of Clinging Webs will not only kill any aristocrat strategy right there and then, but even in general graveyard hate and then spider production from this is a good thing. Black Market Connections is card draw, treasure production, and makes us a quote-unquote spider. And Rhythm of the Wild gives our 8-legged boys a buff or haste. The last 2 pieces of support are Ronus' Monument for cost reduction, as again most of our deck is green, and gives us a buff. Growing Right gets us a creature and then flips itself into a Gaia's Cradle without the price tag, and Beastmaster Sentient, which is great as our commander doesn't actually buff our board, so we do need to increase our spider's power to be able to deal some real damage. On to the 4 and 5 drops now, and we've got more men in questionably tight spandex. Not complaining, just questioning. Superior SpiderMan copies any creature in any graveyard and exiles it, and SpiderMan 2099 Miguel O'Hara bounces a creature on ETB and then draws on combat damage, which now should be pretty easy when he gets all those keywords. Onto the non-man based spiders. Arasta of the Endless Web generates as a spider whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery. Hrot Widow Pack is graveyard hate and token generation, plus life gain. And Skyfisher Spider can be removal and also life gain, means we can get a little bit greedier with that Black Market Connections. The last 2 spiders in this section are Eater Cap, which is not a great card, but it makes up for it by being a removal spell for that annoying dragon or angel flying around. And Ishkanar Graph Widow will hopefully be entering with 4 spider buddies and then as a win con strapped right onto them. For some Kindred support, we're running Distant Melody for card draw, the new Wall Crawl to get a body, an anthem effect and gain life, and Patriarch's Bidding to get back all of our lost web-slinging comrades. Plus, we even get our own board wipe, kind of, in Swarm Yard Massacre. Without any other creatures, it's a -2/-2, but if we've actually got a genuine board state, this is going to be a straight one-sided board wipe that gets around indestructible. The last few cards before the high ends are Annie Joins Up for removal, but also gives all of our many legends additional triggers, Clever Concealment for board wipe dodging, and Raise the Palisade for another one-sided board effect. I've also included Doubling Season here due to both the number of tokens we make and the counters we have. It just seemed to make sense to me. And Return to the Wild Speaker for card draw, and again our stuff is kind of tiny, so turning those 1/2 tokens into 4 3s is kind of a big deal. Now up to the top spots, we've got more web crawling and some genuinely unfair card effects. Dragonlair Spider can generate a board by itself if left unchecked. Izoni's Center of the Web creates their own tokens, but can also get us card advantage provided we have more tokens to sacrifice. And Shelob, Child of Ugalant, gives our spiders Death Touch and Ward 2, which is already good, but then this 8/8 creates tokens of any creatures that dare block our Death Touchy spiders. Madam Web, Clairvoyant, lets us play from the top and knows the card to really fuel that Patriarch's bidding. And then Spider-Man Miles Morales gives our whole board counters on ETB and attack. Our last spider is Morophon to make all our other spiders cheaper. Oh, and our commander free as well, which is rather great. Cast Morophon, cast Cosmic Spider for free, and even with no other creatures out, that's still 11 damage in the air with lifelink. Now onto the utility lands for the deck, and whilst spiders definitely don't have the best support in Magic the Gathering, there are still a few lands that I think really help the deck out. Gavney Township buffs our board with counters, and Yavimaya is a kind of must-have in a 5-colour deck that's actually just a green deck that's splashing 4 other colours. We're also a Kindred deck, so 3 Tree City is great for acceleration, and of course Path of Ancestry for the scry, and Secluded Courtyard for the fixing. With our commander's lifelink and bits of life gain here and there, I've also included both Mana Confluence and City of Brass to help with the fixing this 5-colour deck, as our life total really shouldn't be that much of an issue. Overall, Cosmic Spider is a great 5-colour spider commander with a very clear vision of hitting people in the face for the win. It clearly pretty much states on the card, he's going to give you the power to hit through, you just need to supply the dudes. Which does kind of lead me to the fact that the Cosmic Spider is not a commander you should be dropping on turn 4 or 5. He isn't a play on curve commander. What he is a constant threat. He's something your opponents need to be always worried about, so they're going to hold up that counter or kill spell for when he comes out, just before you move to combat to kill it to stop all your creatures gaining their haste and all the other lovely keywords. Which does give you a unique little opportunity to instead just play out your deck knowing that counterspell's probably going to need to be reserved for your commander. So you can just play out that Arasta and just grow your board and keep the threat of your commander just there in the command zone, ready to be played out when everyone else is tapped out. It's an absolutely powerful card and a great 5-colour spider legend, which hoping, the rest of all the other Kindreds that get ignored get one of these. Just, waiting on that 5-colour dog wizards, just still waiting. I'm never getting that dog commander. And that will be the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What are your personal favourite cards from the Spider-Man set? Whatever thoughts, leave in the comments below. As always, all Affinity for Commander content is made possible thanks to support of our amazing patrons. You guys are truly awesome. If you too like to support our channel and get access to exclusive EDH related rewards, including getting your own deck tech done on the channel, then be sure to check out the link in the description box below. You can also support the channel by liking, subscribing, commenting, hitting that bell icon, doing all that good stuff. But that'll be it from me for now, guys. As always, I've been Alex, and I'll see you next time.